Let it go to the light.
Let it go.
Let it go, let it go. Let it go to the light.
Let it go to the light.
Let it go to the light.
Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go.
Go to the light.
From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt.
Let it go to the as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am the love and the glory. In the light, and the love, and the glory. In the love and the light and the glory, I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, and the love, and the glory. In the light, and the love, and the glory. In the light, and the love, and the glory, I am. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the love and the light and the glory, I am as God created me, in the light and the love and the glory. I am as God created me, in the light and the love and the glory. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory. In the light and the light and the glory, I am. In the light and the light and the glory. In the light and the light and the glory. In the light and the light and the glory, I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the love and the light and the glory, I am.
Good morning, Unity of the Valley. What an awesome day it is. What an awesome place to be. We are family here at Unity of the Valley. So let's sing together.
Together?
Together. We are
Hey,
family.
you guys feel like standing up? You don't have to if you don't want to. Turn to the person in your left and say, hello. It doesn't work, does it? No. I know.
How about hello, sister?
Okay,
Hello, brother.
Turn to the person to your right and say hello. Okay. Still don't work.
That's good. We'll sing together. Here we go. You're beautiful. Sisters and me, we are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got all my sisters and me, yeah. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Sisters and me,
and my brothers,
we are family. Get up, everybody. We are family. They call us sisters and me. We are family. Get up, everybody. We are family. I got all my sisters and me, yeah. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. 2, 3, 4. We are family.
Everyone looks so beautiful in the red. Notice Narayan's shoes. Let us pray. Let us open our minds and hearts to the truth of one power, one presence in our lives. We honor our oneness with the divine. We honor our oneness with each other, with the entire universe, with our beautiful planet. And we are grateful. We are grateful for the love that brings us together. We are grateful for our guidance, for the blessings that are ours. We see all people, all beings blessed. We say thank you. Thank you, God. Amen.
Morning, everyone. My goodness, you look ready for a wonderful service. Really, very nicely done, everybody. I'm Carolyn, the worship assistant this morning, and it's a delight, as always, to be here together on this wonderful, sunshiny day where we are all family in celebration of our spiritual commitment and our growth and our joy and our love. If you're here for the first time, I hope you feel right at home. This is a very warm and welcoming community, and we have gifts for you in the bookstore. And after the service, we have fellowship time. We hope that you can join us, Several of us would be happy to answer any questions that you have and just welcome you to our community. We have prayer chaplains who are with us, and after the service, please do stand. We have Warren and Donovan and Patricia, and these wonderful people will pray with you. After the service, you can just approach any of them right up here in the front. They will take you to a private place and fill your heart and ease your mind. They have been professionally trained. They are great prayers. I have prayed with each and every one of them, and that energy stays with you. It's really a wonderful service. So thank you. Now we have time to light the Christ candle, and Evie and Adele said yes immediately. You don't even have to wear red to get oohs and ahs. Thank you so much. This light is here with us always. Your lighting it reminds us of the great joy that comes just from giving it our loving attention. So come on out to the front and we'll ask the other young people and teachers to come up for a special blessing, and we'll sing a song once through, and first we're going to tell each one of you the truth. Okay. Will you say this prayer with me together now? You are a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. You are loved unconditionally, just the way you are. And we'll say that for ourselves as well. I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am loved unconditionally, just the way I am. Thank you. Have a good Sunday. The sound team I was going to do my own clicker. Changed my mind. Okay, I'm just leaving it all to you because I can't hold the mic and do all of this, all right? So you are covering for me any mistakes I make on them. Just a reminder to please turn off your cell phones and check to make sure those are on hum, vibrate, or just completely turned off. And I want to remind you that the quarterly bake sale is next Sunday. We have done this every quarter this year, and it's raised quite a lot of money for the church. And you all seem to have quite a sweet tooth, because those things just fly off the tables. We still need help. We need bakers, people to help set up, people to help clean up. So there are sign-up sheets in the Great Hall. You would take a look at that after the service. We'd really appreciate it. And the bake sale will occur between services and then after the 10 o'clock service as well, until things are done. So if you have any questions about that, you can ask Mary Carnahan. She's the one who heads this up. And our next announcement is about the Fall Reflections program. Reading the book of Secrets by Deepak Chopra. And there's already been a first meeting, but it's not too late to sign up. The second meetings will be held this next week. And the meeting times and the facilitators are all out there on the long table. So you can still check and see which one might suit you best and sign up for a small group that will discuss these ideas in depth and honestly, and it's a very wonderful way to get to know people in your community at a deep and authentic level. So it's all good. And if you want to just follow along and you're not able to go to any of the meetings, there is a study guide available to you on the table. So no excuses, folks. This book. Our next announcement is a reminder that Reverend Dalia's wonderful class in Joyous Abundance has started. This is the last week you can sign up. And this is a class that typically would cost at least $150. But she is offering it for us for $100. And if you apply for a scholarship, you get that down to $50. This is a 5-week class on abundance, on gratitude, on prosperity, and there's no finer teacher than Reverend Dalia. So I hope that many of you will be able to take advantage of that opportunity. The second class will be this Tuesday. And then, big news, our craft fair is coming up. And we usually have people come in off the street and go, what is unity? And I think, in fact, that might be how Teresa and Don found out about our church. Couldn't swear to that, but I think that's true. And this is a lot of work. And if you haven't been, I can guarantee you will feel so proud of this spiritual center because the whole building fills up and people are happy and the prices are good. There's jewelry, things for your yard. It's just blankets and Christmas gifts. So it's a wonderful time every year, and they need some help with that too, and there's a sign-up list. So plenty of opportunities for volunteering here. And then this is a new announcement. Amy Obensky will be here Sunday, September 29th, noon, to give us a concert. And it's only going to be $15. She is probably most famous for writing the song Carousel that was featured in a long-running show called Grey's Anatomy. I watched. And so she's going to be here to give us a concert, and we have a little clip of her singing just to entice you and show you.
Spinning carousel returns the same old horse again. Ramble on.
Just wanted to just say, I know it's kind of a last-minute thing, but we've been working on getting some really creative and wonderful musicians in. Amy has agreed to come in. Janet and I found her at the Goddess Festival where we saw her performing and went, wow, she's amazing what she creates. She's got a big heart. She's young. She's brilliant. We hope you can come and I know it's short notice, but we hope you can come and check out Amy. And we're trying to get her in a relationship with our church so she can come and be a guest musician from time to time.
You bring us the best people, but nobody beats you. It's true. Do we have that clip?
Spinning carousel returns the same old horse again. Ramble on and on, the thoughts that fill my head. Sometimes I wake up, there's nothing there but emptiness. So I search myself for what there was to do.
That sounds like fun. I will be here. I hope that lots of you'll be here too. Wonderful. We're going to have a good time again. Still. Now, more information about all of these events is out on the table. And you know that we have, our website is really updated, and it works really well. And if you just click on any of those pictures, it will take you to more information about that event. And then you can find out so much about the church, and many of the past services are also posted online. So you can share those with friends. So check that out, www.unityvacaville.org, the website, and you can register for events, you can donate, lots of opportunities there. And one last reminder, our greeting time is a time of really important connection, and if you're new, we'd just like to inform you that we have 2 ways of greeting, depending on which is more comfortable for you. Namaste means the Christ in me beholds the Christ in you, or you can hug. Sometimes people aren't comfortable hugging, so just be aware, and we'll be very respectful of each other's needs and desires. Okay, Jean.
We're going out of the box, everybody.
I know this has a lot of words, and that's okay, because I think we all remember it from the Muppet Show. Let's all stand and sing this together.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? What's on the other side? Rainbows are visions and only illusions. Rainbows have nothing to hide. Well, we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Second verse, people.
We'll wait for it.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Who said that every wish heard and be answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, someone believed it. Look what it's done so far.
What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? What do we think we might see?
Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Let's greet our neighbors.
Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. What do you want to do? Is your battery still good?
in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light of the love and the glory, in the light of the love and the glory, in the light of the love and the glory, I am. In the light of the love and the glory, in the light of the love and the glory, in the light of the love and the glory, I am. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory, in the light, in the love, in the glory, in the light, in the love, in the glory, I am. In the light of the love and the glory, in the light of the love and the glory, in the light of the love and the glory, I am. As God created me, in the light, in the love and the glory. I am as God created me, in the light and the love and the glory. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am.
So it's time for us to turn within again, and we'll make our statement of faith. This is the core of our teachings in unity. And we know that God is good all the time, no matter what is going on. We keep the peace right here. So let's make this statement together now. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good.
Your mood is sweet, turn off the heat, feel the connection. When the ground was weak, beneath your feet, feel the connection. When you feel the weight, then our hearts will meet and dance to the holy sound around. Million lights in a starry night, feel the connection. When the ocean rages with roaring waves, feel the connection. When you feel complete, then our hearts will meet and dance to the holy sound around.
connection.
When I plan and scheme a piper's dream, give me connection. I'm letting go, I'm in the flow, the connection. When you feel complete, then our hearts will meet and dance to the holy sound around. Yeah!
So often, they sound so great, I think that we should just have an encore. And then... I got my gizmo here. Thank you. Thank you so much for that beautiful. So there is one presence and one power. How many people thought of that a bunch of times today before coming to church? As you drive down the freeway, you find yourself thinking there is one presence and one power. Or at Costco at the checkout line, there is one presence and one power, looking around and experiencing your deep oneness with all the other customers, and when you're pulling out of the parking lot with all the other drivers. That's our teaching, right? That's our teaching, and we've been focusing on oneness throughout the year. And this book of secrets that we are looking at in our Fall Reflections program, I mean, he really writes about that oneness throughout the book in different ways from different perspectives. And spoiler alert, our topic for today is the paths of oneness. I almost wrote to oneness, but that's kind of silly because we have nowhere to go. We are in that oneness with every breath, with every word, with every waking and sleeping moment. So it's the paths of oneness. In this Fall Reflections program, if you have any way at all of participating, please do, because it is a time for us not just to connect more deeply, but that's probably the biggest thing, but to deepen our spiritual experience, to make a commitment to a continued deepening of our spiritual life. It's a time to learn. It's a time to laugh. When I first came to Unity, my first year I joined, they called it Spirit Expressing at the church I attended. And I participated every year that I was there, and I was there for 12 years. The last 10, I hosted it, but not just during the 7 weeks, but year-round. And then I went into ministry. So if you participate in these groups, you never know what might happen, right? The full title of the book, and it's available in our bookstore, The Book of Secrets, Unlocking the Hidden Dimensions of Your Life, Deepak Chopra. Dr. Chopra is the author. And each week we have a different color. Our projectors don't show the colors sometimes as vividly as I would like, but the color is red if you haven't noticed. And it's a perfect color for the week when we focus on oneness, because oneness really is an expression or the source of the love that arises within us for each other, for our planet, for all beings, for the universe, because the truth of that oneness allows us to experience that love. You know? And we know that, like the first day I held my son when he was born, there was no question of that oneness. When we're with someone we love deeply, we know that oneness from the very bottom of our hearts, from the tips of our toes. We experience it, we know it, there is no doubt. And so we have those moments that really drive it home, but it's the truth always. So the color that represents love and passion and courage is perfect to represent that experience of oneness that we're celebrating today. It's the color of life. It's a very personal color. And everyone looks great in red. You don't have to wear the color that we're celebrating. Someone apologized to me, and it's not on that level. There's no sin involved here. It's if you want to play with the colors, you're welcome to, right? The paths of oneness. One of the paths is what science is telling us today. The reason we need these paths, these practices, is because it's easy to forget. And because of something that Charles and Myrtle Fillmore called race consciousness. Have you all heard that terminology? That is the consciousness of the prevailing culture. That is the consciousness that we're bombarded with every time we turn on a TV set, or every time we go to a shopping center, or every time we drive and we see billboards. Everywhere, 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 we are bombarded, filled, immersed in a way of thinking and being, in a way of knowing the truth of our reality, right? And science is a big contributor to that, but we're lagging behind the science these days in terms of culturally. At one point, science was teaching that this stuff, this solid stuff, the stuff we call matter, was the basic stuff of the universe. That this was solid and real, and all that spiritual stuff was woo-woo, right? And the scientists were pragmatic, and they knew the truth, and they knew that the stuff, the solid stuff, was the basis of our reality. Well, that's old, old, old science. It's been out the door for about 100 years. Okay. There was a new science that was developed early in the 20th century called quantum physics, right? And quantum physics reminded us that not only is this solid stuff mostly space, I mean really mostly space. The model of an atom that existed for a long, long time was if you took something like as large as a football field and you put a dot in the middle of it, that would be the center of the atom, the nucleus. And the electrons that were surrounding this nucleus would be around the edge of the stands. So think of how little stuff there is in the stuff. It's mostly space. It's kind of amazing how hard it can feel, considering, right? My knuckles hurt from it. And I've just been pounding on space. And then when quantum physics came in, it said, well, not only is there a lot of space between the stuff, not only is the stuff mostly space, But that stuff flickers in and out of material existence. Each little particle alternates between being a particle and an energy wave. So the physical matter is there and then it's not there. It's there and it's not there. Every split second it's being recreated many, many times. This is old science now. Our culture hasn't caught up because our culture still seems to default on this stuff being primary. Erwin Schrödinger was one of the first quantum physicists, and he developed the model of the atom based on quantum theory. He's the one that worked with that idea of that those particles flicker in and out of existence. So each atom in your body disappears and reappears, disappears and reappears. Throughout the book, Deepak Chopra talks about that gap, that space before the matter reemerges as creative moments. I mean, why should it reappear as you? I mean, I could reappear as a lizard, right? I mean, theoretically, if all those atoms are flickering in and out. But there is a creative process. We are continuously recreating ourselves, aligned with the creative power that we call God. That is why things like healing happen, because we can recreate in a new way, in a different way. So this man who developed this quantum mechanical model of the atom is quoted as saying, quantum physics reveals the basic oneness of the universe. So you hear all these hokey things that science is in opposition to spiritual teaching. It hasn't been for about 100 years. That's old science that may have been in opposition. The other thing that Schrödinger said once was, consciousness is never experienced in the plural. We don't say my consciousness, It's consciousness. It's always experienced in the singular. And this is what his science taught him. So one path to knowing our oneness is the truth, the knowledge that is out there, both in science and spiritual masters and teachers. We embrace Jesus as our way shower, our teacher, and Jesus taught us, I and the Father are one. He was not speaking metaphorically. He was speaking truth as he knew it, as he wanted us to know it. And you can replace the word Father with God. You can replace it with universe. You can replace it with truth with a capital T, or spirit, or whatever word resonates with you. But whatever word you use, I and the God of my being are one. There is no separation. And this is a truth that unity has embraced, and we choose to say it every time we gather for a service. So it's not kind of, hey, this might be a nice idea. This is at the very heart of spiritual understanding. And this, ideally, is the consciousness in which we live. But again, for some reason, our culture hasn't caught up with our science, and we're drawn over and over and over again to get caught up in separateness, to get caught up in competition, to get caught up in fear of each other or fear of circumstances, when the real truth is we're one. Deepak, in this book that we're studying, says all spiritual secrets, all of them, depend on our acceptance of one reality. So the mysteries of spiritual teaching, the mysteries of our life, the secrets that allow us to stay in awe of the truth, all depend on our basic understanding that we are one. Otherwise, they don't make sense. They don't make sense. But if you begin with our oneness, they all fall into place. I mean, why should we forgive 70 times 7 times when so-and-so is a no good such and such, right? Except we're one, and if we don't forgive, it's our hearts that remain troubled and longing for peace. It's that oneness that explains it all. Oh, this is hard to read. I'll have to use a cheat sheet. Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist teacher that we've referred to before, we read one of his books at another fall reflection. He was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, and he's been teaching since the Vietnam War, as far as I know. He has a monastery in Plum Village. What he writes is people normally cut reality into compartments and so are unable to see the interdependence of all phenomena. To see one in all, and all in one, is to break through the great barrier which narrows one's perception of reality. So it's not the truth when we create compartments. The truth is we are in all, and all is in us. And another teacher, he was a Lakota elder, and a holy man, a medicine man, healer, and a visionary. And he had wonderful, wonderful spiritual teachings that he shared. Black Elk. How many people have heard of him? Okay, a few. He describes here actually a mystical experience that he had. He says, I saw more than I can tell, and I understood more than I saw. For I was seeing in a sacred manner the shapes of all things in the spirit, and the shape of all shapes as they must live together like one being. Now, that mystical experience where we immerse in that oneness, where we experience it from deep within, is always difficult to put into words because it is so beyond our language and our words. It's that powerful knowing of the oneness that is God, the oneness that is the truth of our being. And I think he described it beautifully here. The shape of all shapes as they must live together like one being. And I saw that it was holy. He also said the first peace, in other words, the deepest and the most profound peace, that peace that passes all understanding. The first peace, which is the most important, is that which comes within the souls of people when they realize their relationship, their oneness with the universe and all of its powers. And that is so true when we live in that consciousness of oneness. The peace, that deep, abiding peace, is a given. It's inevitable. It's when we forget and we get lost in separateness that we become afraid of each other. We become angry with each other. We become overwhelmed by circumstances that are out there and separate. But when we remain in that consciousness of oneness with the universe, there is only peace. There is only love. So in the book, because we are studying a book, right? Deepak Chopra talked about 4 pathways of oneness, and these come out of the Hindu tradition. And he wrote about bhakti yoga, which is the path of love or devotion for God. And again, we can replace the word God with truth, with spirit, with oneness, but it's devotion or love for that. And, you know, people have different styles, and what might be a perfect path for one person might not be another person's path. And there are people who remember this oneness and who re-immerse in that consciousness of oneness simply out of love for that oneness, for that which we call God, for truth. We're truth students. Unity people are truth students. Remember how that used to be a phrase that was used a lot before? So we're truth students, not out of obligation, but we love and long for that truth. So that's the bhakti path. Karma yoga is another path to knowing that oneness. And that path is a path of selfless action or service. This community is filled with people who live the path of karma yoga. It's just, you are all amazing in that way. And again, like I said, what might be the right path for one person might not be another's. Back when I was at Silent Unity working as a supervisor, we went through a time span where Unity wanted to encourage the prayer chaplains at Silent Unity to spend time deepening their spiritual path. Legally, as an employer, Silent Unity could not require people to practice their religion, if you will. So, you know, they were looking for a way kind of to do that without pushing the law too far up against the wall, if you will. And so to the supervisors, it was suggested that we simply take time to talk to the people on our team and ask them about their spiritual practice, show a gentle curiosity and interest, and kind of offer a listening ear if they wanted that, without forcing anybody, of course. But what ended up being was, what got out on the floor was, oh, the supervisors are checking up on us about our spiritual path. And I had one man on my team come in. He goes, you know, I know what you're doing. The reason I'm coming in is I'm supposed to tell you about my spiritual path. I just want to tell you, I don't have a spiritual path. I'm not interested in having a spiritual path. I don't have time for a spiritual path. So he was a great man. I mean, wherever he went, there was this big smile and loving energy and laughter. I mean, it was just wonderful to be in his presence. And so I was sitting talking to him, and I said, so what are you so busy doing? He goes, oh, my wife and I realized how many people are going hungry under the bridges in Kansas City, so we make sandwiches every evening, and we drive them out to the bridges, and we feed the homeless. So I don't have time for this spiritual. For him, spiritual path meant going to an evening service at a church or reading spiritual books, and he didn't have time for that. He was feeding the hungry. And we do that here. We have our Fourth Friday feed, and I really honor the people who show up regularly and do that. That's a beautiful service. Ram Dass, when he was leaving his guru in India and moving back to the United States, his guru told him it was time. He was frightened because he was afraid that without his guru's physical presence, he would lose the discipline of his spiritual path and he would no longer deepen on his journey. So he went to his guru. He said, you know, tell me what I need to do so I can stay on this path, so I can keep learning and deepening. And his guru said, feed people. And Ram Dass said, yeah, I know, but what do I need to do for my spiritual path, my deepening? And his guru said, feed people. So, that's the path of karma yoga. The other one that Deepak Chopra brings up in his book is Jnana Yoga, and that's the path of knowledge. That's where we pull in the modern day science, or the books by Fillmore, or Catherine Ponder, or, Eric Butterworth, or the scriptures. That pathway is a pathway where we use the power of our mind to deepen our understanding of our oneness. In unity, we use affirmations. It's those affirmations that help us deepen in what we know. And Raj Yoga, the path of meditation, the path of stillness, of silence. Deepak Chopra writes about the power of going into the gap between thoughts, where we come to know the truth very, very deeply. I shared with you after my sabbatical the experience of meditating by the trees, and how the meditation experience became a mystical experience of oneness with the trees. And that's that type of thing that meditation invites. Now, we all know that the practice is not always that experience. Someone described it, I think it may have been Sonia, here as being stuck in a phone booth with a wild tiger, or with a psychopath. Okay, same thing. So these are examples of paths, and these are actually paths taught in the Hindu tradition. There are more. And I think there are infinite number of paths that remind us of the oneness that is already the truth. So that you do wake up in the morning and think, one power, one presence. And in those traffic jams, one power, one presence. At Costco, it's one power, one presence, right? Always. Deepak says that our task is to make wholeness more real in our lives. Namaste. And as we go deeper into knowing that we are one with God, I invite you to notice for a little while the movement of your breath, honoring the breath as the breath of God moving through you right now. Honor that breath as you notice how it feels. How it feels when you breathe in and when you breathe out. Notice how it feels as God is breathing you in this moment. Notice how the breath takes you deeper within. Deep into that sacred space within you. That sacred space where you know the presence of God. That sacred space where you feel your oneness with the divine. And then for a little while, rest in that sacred space, in the silence, in your oneness with God. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with God. Holding those affirmations in your heart, allow yourself to gently and easily bring your attention back to this room, back to this time and place. Take a nice deep breath. Become fully present right here, right now. Open your eyes when you're ready and look around. See the amazing light, that divine light that is shining on each and every face. And know that that light is shining through you. And join with me in saying, thank you, God. Amen.
With the heart of the mother, I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God.
One of the things I most appreciate about being here is that during every service, there comes a point when there is just such a deep sense of well-being and relief and gratitude. So thank you for that wonderful talk. What a great teacher. I got so much out of that. And the music. Oh, and thank you for including sisters and mother. It hurts sometimes to be invisible, and you bring it all together. So here we are in oneness. It's time for us to take our tithes and offerings now. And in that spirit of gratitude, to bless them with the prayer that is on the screen. Let's say that together now. God's love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. I am grateful.
the song we sing, you can understand. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command.
Here we go.
Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Gonna love one another right now.
How's this for a hymn?
It's a hymn.
Love is but the song we sing, fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, make the angels cry.
No, the dove is on the wing.
You need not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together. We're gonna love one another right now.
Here we go, third verse, people.
Some may come and some may go. We should surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight sparkling in the grass. Yeah, come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Gonna love one another right now.
Smile on your sister.
Come on, people now, smile on your sister. Everybody get together. We're gonna love one another right now. Smile on your brothers, smile on your sisters right now.
It's one of my all-time favorite songs. That was so much fun. So, you know, in Dalia's talk, when she talked about the quantum physics and flickering in and out, and I thought, well, that helps me to be more patient with myself, because sometimes I get cranky or cross or impatient, and it's okay. It comes right back. That sense of wholeness and oneness, it comes right back. It's innate in us. And so enlighten up, Carolyn. So, right? And we're one. When we can't be, when we're tired or feeling drained or just somewhere else, the rest of us step up. We are all together. We are one community. And we are so awesome. I'm so grateful. And that's my blessing on the tithes and offerings. And welcome back, children. Let's form a circle and go out and be one.
honor our diversity. And we are one. Amen.
As God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. I am.